My name is Lerato. I can hear somebody whispering. Is it me?
The mics are on.
Sorry. So we are management consultants and software engineers. We basically assist companies with digital transformation. We work in a very niche space where we assist companies that are struggling to modernize. Our core focus on digital transformation basically focuses and is underpinned by governance, risk, and compliance. I'm delighted to be here with my esteemed colleagues who will be the panelists. I'll introduce them shortly and then they can obviously come onto the stage. But I'd like to start off with a short piece just to set the scene. I was in Malawi about a month ago, and we met with a FinTech company that side that has built a payment aggregator system that allows merchants to interface with many banks without having to open an account or even with them having to deal with a bank at all. 100%. And it raises a good point in terms of who actually owns the data. Is it the banks or is it the customers, right? But we'll actually touch on that a bit later. Dimitri, welcome.
Sorry for being late. Who starts earlier? Anyway, right, technically cool. I'm not late.
No, 100%. Now you. And then we'll just come through this way. I saw one hand here, two this side, and then one there. I think just to add on to that, there's definitely nothing that's cost effective, especially when trying to build a business. My advice would be just to start, right? You obviously need to start. It's important to learn, understand certain aspects of what you're obviously trying to do in that space, and having the right level of knowledge of improving in that space. We actually hire a few junior data scientists as well. They come into the space, and what I always tell a person that we need people to operate at 150%. But every time I'll ask a graduate or whatever and say, where do you think you are 3 months in after doing a few SQL queries there, analyzing data and the likes? And they're like, no, I'm running around 30% of knowledge, etc. And I'm like, yeah, but you're minus 50. And if you don't comprehend that you actually don't know much in those few years, you won't get to a point where you actually hit zero. You need to strive to get to zero. From then, you'll then grow. So it's important to gain the knowledge. I call it domain knowledge. Understand your space, understand where you want to go, and that will basically assist you in that regard. This is slightly different to your point, but it will kind of still give you the right context as well. A lot of people always ask me, hey, I want to do my MBA, etc., and the likes. You studied at WITS, where should I go, right? And I always say to that person, you need to know what you want to do first before you can actually even decide to go and do an MBA.
Wearing the clothes that we are wearing because we evolved. And we learned from somebody. We copied from somebody. We use the mics that we use, contrary to the belief that Africans can project their voices without using mics. There's nothing wrong learning from Europeans, as much as there's nothing wrong Europeans learning from Africans.
Correct.
We need to stop polarizing, learn from each other, collaborate where possible so that we can move with a sense of focus and speed.
Everybody uses, in Africa, we're different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
100%. I think maybe just to close that point, I think, yes, I think the biggest thing is allowing entities, unlike banks as an example, the opportunity to assist customers in essence. And yes, everything can obviously be aligned to the African way of doing things. You mentioned Malawi, they have this FinTech entity now as well that basically assists farmers in essence, that side, to basically trade. They've been trading in a certain way over time, but it doesn't mean that we should shy away from trying to formalize that process and ensuring that there's certain processes in place that allow them to ensure that they don't have to keep money under their mattress, etc., and the likes. I think that's where the audiences are, or rather the colleagues on the stage are coming from in that regard, from a copy and paste perspective. And it's the enablement, in essence, of ensuring that we can grow in that space here. I think I'm going to start there. That's the hand that I saw. I'm not sure if you can be given a mic. Oh, you have it. Okay, cool.
I understand what open banking means.
Yeah.
Boring, huh?
Exactly.
100%.
Even
Yeah,
for
I
us.
think just to add on to that, obviously APIs are quite intricate, and there's multiple touch points to a certain degree that comes with integrating into different areas. I think on the topic around insurance companies as an example, where they still need the bank's data to a certain degree to give you a certain insurance policy, whatever the case might be, you actually don't need to know how those mechanics work. They should basically, there should be that level of trust between the insurance company and the bank to basically interact with each other so that you are basically serviced as a customer. And yes, I think with open banking, the critical part there is giving consent as well. So I think that comes in quite key, but at least in this regard, you don't have to now, if you are taking a loan from a vendor, whatever the case might be, you don't have a certain bank account, you don't have to run all the way to the bank to open a bank account. They can actually just do it right there because they can integrate with the bank directly. So yeah, I think it's just on that level, if I position it correctly. Yeah.
There's one gentleman here and one lady. Maybe we can take 2 more questions.
Okay, cool. Hey, where do we start? Can we start here? Okay, can we do this? So we're gonna start here. There's the lady over there, and then we'll come to the gentleman here.
So Nigerian regulators playing that game to say, hey, here's a box of choice assorted. You can decide even if you don't want to eat these biscuits, we are going to get you some nicer scones at the back. You can't do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Not true. I think particularly with African regulators as well, if certain processes are not enforced to a certain degree, but it comes down to is it the right regulators or is it the right people in those institutions to basically enforce those type of processes, it's quite key to then eliminate the whole options or choice that basically goes out. Otherwise, nothing will ever get implemented in essence. I think, I don't want to go too political, but we are in a country where there's too many choices, obviously, and certain things never go according to plan because there's just a variety of ways to basically implement certain policies. And with that, it causes a lot of confusion, delay in implementing certain initiatives and the likes. So yeah, I just wanted to close that. Yep.
And before we get thrown off, never be afraid to fail. That's part of the learning curve. And I've worked with so many fintechs that version 1 doesn't look like version 10. They fail, and then they get it right.
Yeah, yeah. You are going to fail. I think that's a guarantee, right? But you need to fail quickly and learn and then move forward. In business, unfortunately, it's guaranteed. You're going to lose money. It's a guarantee. So unfortunately, there's no easy way out. But as it innovation and adoption and ensuring that we move forward with open banking in essence, and hopefully the banks as well will open their doors from an API perspective. To ensure that we basically move forward as a continent at large. Thanks, everyone. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.